Greetings all, Frog here. Let's play some Europa Universalis for the White Elephant. So, I recorded an entire first episode of this series, and because there were some video problems that I was having at the beginning, I recorded the wrong EU4 instance. What happened is that I run a multi-monitor setup, and I run also a multi-work area setup on Ubuntu because it's just the easiest way for me to go. I've got EU4 in one screen on one monitor, and then on the same monitor I have OBS so it can show what I'm recording. Excuse me. I also happen to have my Steam friends list up right now just because I'm kind of curious to see who else is jumping into EU4, which is nobody right now because I guess normal people work on Wednesdays at 11:30. Crazy. So on the other workspace, so then I can, in Ubuntu, you can hit Control Alt and an arrow key, and it takes you to a different workspace. And you can have as many as you want, I think, set up, as long as your computer can handle it. I have 4. So the workspace to the right, I have Audacity to record my microphone audio, because it's find it easier for me to do post-production if I had the game audio separate from the microphone. And what was happening is I would go to the other screen, and for some reason, when I switched workspaces, the EU4 screen would disappear, and it didn't do this in 1.11. And I freaked out at first. I started tweeting about it. If you follow my Twitter, then you'd know about it. But what now happens, for some reason, it just minimizes the screen. I don't know why. It's not doing it to any of the other windows, just EU4. So it's not a problem. I can Alt-Tab back into it, and everything's fine. But for some reason, the OBS didn't catch up to it that time. It's on it now, like I'm watching on the preview. My mouse is moving, it's the right one. So I recorded a 25-minute video talking about my views of common sense, and it's garbage. It's gone. And it's so sad. It's been a very frustrating morning. I had a great Throwback Thursday, actually. I hope you enjoyed watching it, since this comes out on Saturday. But it's been a very, very frustrating morning. So, for me, I'm going to talk about everything again, but rather than like start the whole series over and load up a new game, I'm leaving it exactly where it is, and I'll just talk through what I've done. So, first, obviously, I'm playing Ayutthaya again. And there are a number of reasons for this. One, because I really felt like those 13 episodes didn't really give it justice, so I wanted to come back, work hard, and do these achievements, and I think I could do that. You'll notice that this is in a separate Ayutthayan campaign folder. I'm calling this the White Elephant for a number of reasons. One, because obviously that's the flag of Ayutthaya is the White Elephant, but also because there's a new achievement. There were 25 new achievements in Common Sense, and one of them is the White Elephant achievement. And that achievement is, as Ayutthaya, control all of Indochina. So when we talk about all of Indochina, and I wrote down the list of all the countries this means we have to get rid of. We have to control, and we don't have to get rid of the countries. We just need all of the whatever provinces they start with at the beginning of the game. Those are what we need to control. So eventually, we need all of Arakan, Ava, Mongyang, Senhui, Tonggu, Pegu, Lana, Ligor, Patani, Malacca, Sukhothai, Khmer, Champa, Lanzhong, Dai Viet, and Kedah. So that's from the tip of Malacca in the south all the way up to the top of Mongyang in the north, up here, and then all this stuff in between. Luckily, it's nothing from the Ming, so I don't have to piss off the Ming, I don't have to piss off Bengal, I just have to do this stuff here. And I think, actually, these two, were they listed? No, they were not, so I don't need those two. Just this up here like this. That's Indochina. So if I have all of that, I get the White Elephant. It hasn't been categorized yet of how difficult it is. I'm not sure it'll be that difficult, but I don't think we would consider it easy either. Alright, so that's what we're going to go for. And just a reminder of the other 3 achievements that we're trying to go for. Down Under, that's just to have a colony on Australia. That's certainly going to happen. I can't show you because we have Fog of War, but when we come down here, we can colonize, and then boom, we're in Australia. So we've got that going for us, which is nice. We're going to do the Land of the Eastern Jade, which is just to have a province in Central America. We don't have to colonize it first. We could conquer it, but we need a core, essentially. We need to own a province in Central America. And then at every continent. We need one on all 6 continents. We already start on Asia. We'll be down in Australasia, the Australian continent. No problem to get that. We'll be in Central America, which gives us North America. And then it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to South America. Africa's not too bad either. What's going to be the trick, as we mentioned the last time, is Europe. Europe's going to be the tough one. So we really have to build big. And we're going to have to Westernize. I don't think there's any way to do this without Westernization. So some other things I downloaded with Common Sense. I did get El Dorado. You can't tell yet, but I did also get Guns, Drums, and Steel 1 and 2. And also the user-created audio by Kai Nai, I think, or Kai Lee, or something. I will check. It starts with a K, though. But I have all of that music, and I've already started. I picked up the Songs of War. I picked up Songs of Ayutthaya, actually, which is still on, so chances are you may hear some of that until at least I think about it. So, Merry Christmas. I picked up a bunch of other packs, and one of them we listened to it for a majority, actually, of the last video was some Asian specific music, which was really cool. I was really jamming to it. It was neat. So we're gonna have a lot of music choices rolling through this thing to get us going. I need to turn it down actually a little bit. I feel like I'm shouting. So that's what we're going for, right? Are those achievements? So how are we going to do it? Well, the first things first. What's new in this game are forts. So the fort level, that's not fort level. So the fort levels, we have forts. Your capital always has at least one fort level. So that's why we see all of these little spots. These are at a minimum all the capitals. Excuse me. Got a little crud going on today. So that's at minimum, these are capitals, right? All right, so Khmer has fort level 1. That means there is no actual fort in Khmer, but your capital gets 1. We have a fort level 3. So what that means is not only do we have a fort, but we have area of control. So this is within the zone of control. And what the zone of control does is a number of things. With this fort zone of control, people can't siege down lands within the zone of control without sieging adjacent provinces first. So you can't just jump right in and take this. You can't jump right in, and you have to create a chain. The other nice thing about this is if there is an army and they take control of this province, if I still have my fort and they don't maintain troops here, it will revert to me on the month. One of the other things is if there is, here's some of that Asian sounding music starting again. It's really cool. One of the things that we have here is if there is no fort in the province, it's a 1-month siege. That's it. If they essentially have fort level 0, it's a 1-month siege, period. There's no more protracted sieges for every province, which is a good change. If it's in the fort, however, it's your typical siege, and you need double the army to take the fort level. So this has a fort level of 3, so at a minimum, you're going to need 6,000 troops to take this capital away from me. Same thing here if we go to war with Khmer. I'm going to need 2,000 men at a minimum to take that capital. We will end up at war with Longzhang, and I'll tell you why later. This is a fort level 2, so we need 4,000, and this was just fort level 1. So we look over here, fort level 3. Our vassal, Sukhothai, has a fort level 3, so if we integrate them, we're going to get that fort as well. And this is just a fort level 1, so just the capital province has a fort level. So this is cool. This is a new change. I love this fort system. I think this is going to be really, really neat. And you can build forts anywhere, which is part of the new building system, which is part of why the save crashed. Oh, I didn't tell you about that in this one. I did try and load the save, and it crashed the game. I mean, literally crashed the game. There was no like, oh, this isn't a good idea, and things looked weird. Just boom, did not play. So, bummer. But that's why we're starting over with this. So, fort levels, really cool. I'm really looking forward to interacting with that and seeing how it works. I haven't quite grasped yet the adjacency thing, but we'll work on it. And it doesn't apply, like this fort doesn't apply to here, but this fort does. So even though they're my vassal, my fort doesn't protect their lands. It's just my country. So you gotta be careful about that. But you can exploit it too. So half dozen to one, really. Wow, it's interesting. I haven't played this game without the better rivers, better oceans and stuff for a while. It is quite different. It's not bad. It's okay. It's not quite as good as it is. As it could be. Okay, so that's one of the changes in Common Sense. Boom. Another change is in our actual country itself. We're still Buddhists, but we are Theravada Buddhists. There are now 3 different types of Buddhism, so heresy actually matters. So in our religion tab, we have an actual, heretic. So we have a positive because that's just what Buddhism is. We just tolerate other heretics. So we're okay with other Buddhists. But heathens, no. So the true faith in this instance now is going to be Theravada. The heathens are Mahayana and... I can't think of the other one offhand. It starts with a V. Vajrayana. So those are the two other Buddhist heresies, essentially. And what's really cool, we obviously didn't have this before, we now have karma. Da-da-da-da. So, if we have our karma at the middle, then we have a plus 5% discipline bonus and a plus 1 Diplo rep bonus. Awesome. If we get too much karma, then we start moving away from the world. So if we have if we have 50 or higher karma, we lose Diplo rep, -2 Diplo rep, which is actually -3 swing, because you see from 25 to 50, we lose our bonus. So it's a -3 Diplo rep swing. That's pretty huge. And then if we get too low, we have a -15% Diplo swing. So we have to be careful. So how does karma work? And you can see on this screen. You may not be able to, actually, because in 720p it might be a little small. And I'm not to the point yet where I can upload those 1080p videos to YouTube. I'm really sorry, but 720p is still pretty good. So, karma increases when a war is declared on me, when we honor alliances, when we release vassals, when we release nations in peace deals, and when we return cores. Karma decreases when we start wars ourselves, or when we take provinces in peace deals. So because I tend to play fairly warlike, this could be a challenge, because we may just end up with no discipline, which would be frustrating. So we're going to have to do things like release vassals. We're going to have to honor our alliances pretty much at every cost. And, we might have to bait people into war, send those insults and other things that will take people, take affront to us. And honestly, at some points, we might just have to return cores. Now, returning cores doesn't necessarily mean returning cores from us. It just, I believe, is in a peace deal if we just return the cores, or if we release nations. Now, we need to conquer Indochina, so I'm not going to be releasing nations anytime soon. But we will possibly do that. So we'll honor all of our alliances. If anyone goes to war, we're in. We're not going to try and break those alliances. Also, because they fixed that exploit, if you have a call for war active on your screen, you cannot dissolve an alliance. So you must decline it and take the prestige hit. So we are definitely going to be a little more cognizant of that and go through. All right. Any other changes here? We'll just go through quickly. No, I mean, there's not. I'll just tell you that. You just can look for yourself real quick. No big changes from what's going on. This is all the similar stuff. Oh, I take that back. This is one change. You can't see it yet, but ideas are now level 5. So we have an extra level before we can get to the ideas, which is good and bad, I think. Good because it unlocks the building system at level 4, so we can start building things sooner. And the buildings are really cool. We'll show all those as we go through it. But it doesn't allow us to take our exploration ideas as fast as we want them. So if we're going to try and westernize, which I think we will, we want to try and do that at a point where we're not too big, so we're not spending a ridiculous amount of points. But then we also have to be touching a Western nation, and the easiest way to do that is to get to Africa, and we need exploration to do that. So we'll see. I made the mistake in the last campaign of not taking the early Carrack. We're going to take the early Carrack because that colonial range plus 100 is huge. So we're going to do this before we take exploration. So maybe in a way, having ideas at level 5 worked out for us. So buildings at level 4, we now get our temple at level 4. We're going to get the marketplace at level 4 Diplo, and at level 4 military, we're going to get the level 6 military is when we get barracks, because we start with the castle, that's right. They had to move the castle to level 1 to deal with all the fort stuff. Level 4 is still a great level for military tech, though. That does give you tactics. What else does it give? It gives you, well, morale is at level 3, which we're definitely going to take. Oh, they've tweaked this a lot. That's kind of nice, actually. Artillery obviously isn't until later. Cavalry fire won't be until much later. Oh, they've really tweaked this. Yeah, level 4 is actually not as important. The discipline is nice, but it looks like level 5 is the new level. So they've flipped that around too. Level 5 is the new military level that you really absolutely have to have. You get infantry shock. You get cavalry. No, that's not. But you get infantry shock. You get combat width, which is not as big a deal. Level 4 does give you morale, actually, too. So 4 and 5 are both important now. Supply limit ranges. Interesting. So all that stuff is new. The ideas, I believe, have been tweaked. We'll think about those later. Exploration, I believe, is the same, though. We're going to just do a quick change. Yep. That's the same. That's the same. That's the same. I don't remember the patch notes offhand. Yeah, that's all the same. So exploration is still the same, which is that's going to be our first idea. So that's still the same. We did take a mission. Our mission is to conquer Nongbuo Lamfu, which is in here. So that's why we're going to end up at war with Longzhang. We did take that mission. Our other choices were not real appealing, but they have changed the missions as well. So normally, if we would conquer this, we would get... Conquered province was military, I think. You get 25 military points and like 5 prestige. Well, now, your rewards are not instantaneous. They are... Well, yeah, they start immediately, but they're not just like a one-time hit. They are continuous for a certain time. So for 10 years, when we take this province, we're going to get plus 10% manpower recovery speed. Mancover? That was cool. And plus 1 yearly prestige for those 10 years. So the rewards are way cool. What national decisions do we have at the beginning? We can accept a culture. Yeah, missionary strength, basically, which we don't care about yet. We need a theologian, and we have to have stability at least 1. All right, so that's the same. This is the same. For the most part, I don't think there's any changes here. Religion we already covered. Military, we have active forts, so this is big. We can activate or mothball all forts at once from this screen, which is very convenient. If we have an active fort, it costs us money. So I'm making 1.87 ducats a month. That includes our fort maintenance of 1, because we have 1 fort. So it's going to cost us 1 every month, and it's 1 per fort all the way through. I believe that along with advisor costs and other things that increase throughout the game, fort maintenance increases throughout the game. So that will be... we'll have to address that. Leaders are all the same. Alright, here's another big change. So we have our subjects. Liberty Desire. That's pretty much still the same. Okay? That works the same way, all the different modifiers and all that. Tooltips are much better, by the way. I like the form. They've done a lot to the formatting that make them so much nicer, so we know exactly what's going on. But now we have subject interactions. So we can do 5 things with each of our subjects, which is really cool. We can placate the local rulers, which lowers Liberty Desire by 10%, but it costs us 20 prestige, so it's definitely something we have to think about. We can have our subjects embargo our rivals as well. It costs plus 5 Liberty Desire. I'm not sure what the benefit of that is yet, other than it lowers their trade power further, so we might get more benefit. I'm not sure. If one of our subjects has a regency, we can put a relative on the throne, which basically guarantees it will be of our dynasty. We can force them to change religion to ours, to make them the same religion. I don't know why we can't do that with Liger. Raises Liberty Desire by 50%. There's a reason, and I can't think of what it is. And then we can enable Scuddage, or Scuddage. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I'm going to say Scuddage because that sounds funnier. Which basically, we have an additional 50% of the income. So right now we're getting 14.3%, I think that said. Yes, we're getting 14.3% of their monthly tax income. Well, we can get another 50%, but then they won't fight in wars. So it's a give or take. And then the military focus is the same. So that's just in a different... We have a new button. And then we can still release one of our colonial subjects if we had any, which we're not going to have any for a while. I think even as an Eastern power, we have colonial nations in the New World. We're going to find out. So those are the changes here in this little menu. I do not have any of the mods active because reasons. They're broken. I don't know why. I mean, obviously, this is the day after. We're doing this Wednesday morning. Okay, so Common Sense came out yesterday. The only mod author I know of who has updated things for 1.2 that I used was Arumba, but not the entire mod pack because he's not in charge of the whole mod pack. All he does is keyboard shortcuts and interface mod. So his keyboard shortcuts and interface mod is great. It's been updated for 1.12, but for some reason I can't open it. I don't know if I've talked about that in this video or the previous video, but there it is. So I don't know why. I put in some tweets. Paradox said, hey, obviously it takes a while for these guys to update him. I said, oh, no, I know. He already has. What's going on? And they haven't gotten back to me. So I don't know. It's not a big deal. Right, I'm looking at my Twitter right now. But so, there you go. We'll check all that later. But it's just a matter of time, I think, before something. It might be a slight bug or... I don't know. It's in the same spot. It's installed the same way. It's in the same folder. It's just the version 1.12 for version 1.12. And I don't know. So no keyboard shortcuts, which was really frustrating as I was setting all of this up because I couldn't click C to confirm things. and I wanted to do it. I wanted to click C. So I don't know. I might have to go in and mod some things on my own. So if we look over here, I've got a Navy. It is patrolling. It's protecting trade in Siam, which is now all of this. I think Siam was just this little bit, and this was actually part of another trade node. I think it was, I'm not sure. Canton seems new, but maybe not, or it just extended farther. I don't know. I can't remember the trade nodes that much to know for sure what was going on. But now we're protecting trade. I also have 3 transport fleets, which we will need at some point. I'm recruiting regiments. I've got 3 cavalry? What? Oh, that would be why I ran out of money. I ran out of money while I was doing this, because apparently I recruited nothing but cavalry, which was a mistake. I don't want you, and I'll get that money back, and I don't want you. Get that money back. You were supposed to be spearmen. That explains why I couldn't get 3 of them. There we go. So that's what I wanted. That just helps bring my army up to 16, which is kind of what I want. That's my force limit, and we're good to go. So 1 cav gives me 4 cav. That's 2 on each side, which is good. I mean, 6 probably would be better, so maybe I should have left it alone. But I didn't want to kind of spend the money that was involved with that. So we've got those training up. Who have I rivaled? Well, if you looked closely on this, I have rivaled Khmer and Longzhang. I haven't picked a 3rd rival yet. It's probably going to be Pegu, actually. They don't like us. They'd be willing to ally us, so we're gonna take that and play it for a little bit. But we've picked 2 allies instead. We're starting with Dai Viet. I think this is a much better, stronger alliance. We're basically the 2 main powers on the island, or the peninsula. Longzhang is not really that threatening right now. They have 8,000 troops, I think, if I looked at the ledger. Khmer, of course, is the strength. So these 2, I don't mind chewing up some of the land with Dai Viet. I don't mind making them stronger now. Oh, I'd like to stay stronger than they are, but for now, we're okay. Because they can focus them over here while I'm taking all this. Right? And we have to be careful to keep the karma up, because discipline disadvantages in battle are bad news. So our rivals are Longzhang and Khmer. We have an alliance with Dai Viet. We also have an alliance with Senwi this time. The game wanted me to do La Na. That was my mission. But La Na is rivaled with Pegu. So if I wanted to bring Pegu in peacefully, La Na would have been a problem. Senwi is not rivaled with them. They are rivaled with La Na. So if I ally here, they're going to come in against Longzhang. They'll probably also come in if I try and take La Na. They're rivaled with Mongyang. It's a perfect situation, I think. So Senwi worked out really well. I don't mind helping them get stronger, too. We're going to honor all alliances here because we have to. We are trying to improve relations with the Ming. We're at -8 right now. If they can make them not neutral, it would be brilliant, but I'm pretty sure they're going to stay neutral anyway. But we'll try. I can't think of anything else that I did to set up in the other video. We've now taken the 25 minutes because I talked my way basically through. I just didn't actually do it as I was talking this time. So we'll get into buildings as we start building them. I don't even know if we have any to start off with, do we? No. Diplotech. That's going to be Diplotech 8. Diplotech, or Military Tech 6. Admin Tech 4. Admin Tech 6. Admin Tech 8. Yep, I could do Fort Defense. I just need money for it. I don't think I need tech for that. I do need tech to go up to Castle 2, but I can bring that up. And the manufactories, these are actually the same, I think. They just need the different techs at 11, which may have been how it was before, different techs, but manufactories basically work the same. And we have to talk about development. So, next video, because I'm not going to go longer than 25 minutes on videos, but the next video, we're going to actually start playing the game. We're going to let time run. Time did run, as you know. I mean, we start on the 11th of November, so we've run 6 months. It's just, it didn't record. So now it's recorded, I hope, because if I have to do this a 3rd time, boy, am I going to be tired. But we're going to talk about buildings, and we're going to talk about development in the next episode, because they are really cool. I hope you liked it. If you did, please consider clicking that like button and subscribing to the channel to stay updated with everything that's going on. Share it to all your friends. You know, bring the frog out of the pond into the big world. I love interacting with all of you, as you know. You know, if you've been doing it, I answer pretty much everything right now because I still can. I have time to do it, and we're not a big channel yet. So, if you want some personal interaction, this is the place to get it. So, again, I hope you liked it. Subscribe and all that business. And until next time, cheers.